You see the title. You see it. You see it. You see it. You see it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen, Lord, I've got the wrong banner up. What is going on? Here it is. Technical difficulties, yeah. Anyway, how y'all doing? How are you all doing? You see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen, bottom of the screen. Help me reach 1,000 subscribers. I already have 200, and I'm so thankful and grateful. Shout out to the 200 that have decided that they were going to be subscribed to me. All right. Let's do that. One more you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Now, we've gotten all that. We've gotten through all of that. Let me see where I'm going to go with this. So you see what's going across the screen. We are about to review Young, Famous, and African Season 2, Episode 8 and 9, Gloves Off and Trials and Tribulations. And Trials and Tribulation is the season finale. All right? Listen, 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 and listen good. These two episodes, I think that's where the mess kind of came out. And the biggest part of the mess came out with Zari and Fantana. So, what I want to do with these two episodes, I don't know if I want to just go piecemeal by piecemeal because, you see the notes. All of this notes. You see the notes, and I don't know if I want to go piecemeal by piecemeal, but I do want to just kind of talk about the finale and what is happening. So, and just the overall themes about what's going on. So you see, so we're going to take them by couples or people of importance. How about that? So let's go ahead and get this couple out of the way. And this is Naked DJ, aka Quentin, and Kaylee. Now you remember at the end of the last episode, Quentin had proposed to Kaylee. And Kaylee just didn't feel like it was real because she didn't get a ring. She didn't feel like it was real because she did not get a ring. So she had a conversation with Ndile, Sebo, and Annie about the situation. And she explained everything what happened, but she was just feeling, and that's an honest feeling that she had, that she didn't feel like it was real. Because you remember the last episode, Quentin was talking about a trailer proposal. Now that's some bullshit that that Kanye made up, but he's trying to explain it to Kaylee as if it's something common that people do. They have trailer proposals, and they don't. Because even if you decide to propose to somebody, let's say off the cuff, but there is an expectation that you go and you get them a ring, because in this society, in modern Western society, it is common for you to get a ring for the person as a man, that you seal the deal with a ring. Back in olden days, before rings became popular, you sealed the deal with a dowry that you gave her family, some of your land or whatever it was, or some of your money, or whatever it was, goats and whatever it was, that you gave something as your commitment to marry this young lady. Because again, when you talk about marriage prior to 1930, marriage has always been a business deal between two families. Whether you're connecting wealth, keeping wealth amongst a certain echelon of people, whether you're trying to, whether there's some kind of war or something happen and you get two battling families, you merge them together by a marriage. whether it's about assets or whatever it was always considered to be a business deal. It wasn't to the 30s until, because even to that point, women didn't get wedding rings. It wasn't until the 30s where there was a campaign about engagement rings and things like that. So, because really, truly, even then, men and women didn't have, so to speak, wedding rings. They really didn't. But in modern culture, and I'm saying modern from the 1930s, you have wedding rings, and that's what Kaylee is expecting. Haley's expecting a wedding ring. That is not what Naked DJ got her. That is not what Quentin got her. So he goes back and he has another he takes a stab at it again, and he gives her what she desires, and that's pretty much it. And so we're going through Gloves Off, and we're going through Trials and Tribulation. So you may hear things that have happened on either one of them. I'm going back and forth. Like I said, I'm just taking each point, each person by person, just like I do my Bel Air review. Let's see. You see, I'm trying to think because I want to get the little out of the way before I get into a big thing. All right, so let's go over basically with Andili and his women. I think I covered that pretty much on the last episode and how I felt about that. So let's get into Fontana, Zari, and Diamond. So let's kind of go over what's going on there. And all throughout my notes, I have said, and I've said this before, and I think I've said this way back when. I think it was one of the first, it was the first or the third, 1 through 3 episodes. Fontana made it seem like she was about that life. And the life that she was about was she wasn't going to have any emotional ties toward the men. She can basically sex them and leave them. That is the life that she put forth to Diamond. Okay. And then she interacts with Zari and all kinds of hell breaks loose. And a lot of that has to do with Diamond told Fontana something that put a battery in her back, that she can come back to the group and come back to Zari and say, oh, well, if you knew what Diamond said, it will make you cry, or it bring you to your knees. It's some silly stuff. Number one, Fontana is young and she's stupid. And you're not about that life, because there was no reason in the world that anything that you and Diamond had talked about in your tete-a-tetes that should have been brought back to the group. All right. You were feeling insecure about some of the things that Diamond said about Zari. And you were also feeling like it was your responsibility to stick up for Diamond in the midst of Zari. And in the whole situation of that, you've caused confusion, problems where there should not have been any. Because if you were about that life that you said that you were about, this wouldn't have happened, because you'd have kept your mouth closed. Because if all you were about was sexing him and leaving it there, then we wouldn't hear any information about Zari. And that just leads to her immaturity. So basically what happened from episode 7 to episode 8, or was it episode 8 to episode? Yeah, I think it's episode 8. Y'all let me know. Anyway, let me go back. So there is a confrontation, not a confrontation, but yes, there is. Yes, there is. Yeah, no, it hadn't happened yet. It hadn't happened yet. Sorry, y'all. I've watched this episode about a week, 2 weeks ago, probably about 2 weeks ago. And then I'm coming back trying to remember all this information. So I apologize, because it was a lot. So we see an instance where in Gloves Off, Fantana meets with Diamond because she wants to be able to talk to him about what's going on with Zari and things that Zari has told her in different meetups and stuff like that. So she has Rosette to be there. Now Diamond is confused because he don't know why Rosette is there and why there needs to be a third party. But I do. That's the one thing I can commend Fontana on, is the fact that you're going to have somebody else be there so that if anybody is questioned about what you said to Zari, at least you have a witness. Rosette is your witness. So she starts asking the right questions. Do you have a girlfriend? All of these different things. And what does Diamond do? Diamond lies. And here's the kicker. Rosette knows that Diamond is lying. And Rosette's petty tail gonna say, well, okay, you don't have a girlfriend. So post Fantana on your social media. And baby, you should see how Diamond is uh backpedaling and pussy popping because he knows he said something. He don't know exactly what he said because all that through that tete-a-tete that he said a lot, and I'm probably sure he cannot make me believe that he was not venting to Santana about Zari. And he said some things, and now again, that gives Fontana a battery in her back about him. And like I said, she's just naive and goofy because she believed Diamond when Diamond said that he didn't have a girlfriend when it's all over social media that he does. So did she not check his page? What is really going on with her? She is of that generation where where you stay on the internet. There's no way that you can make me believe that you're on this internet and you see him with this girlfriend, and all the captions that he talks about. Excuse me, y'all, I'm moving the mic. All those captions that he's talking about, and you do not see the fact that he has a girlfriend. Child, cheese, you foolish. Zari, Lewis, and Kanye meet up, and basically they just kind of go over. Lewis explains to them that him and Swanky made up because Lewis then talked about the fact that he was excommunicated from his church and he doesn't have the ability to talk to his family, and all the things that he was talking about. It wasn't coming from a pervy sense. It was just coming from the fact that he wanted to talk to Zari about surrogacy because he was interested in surrogacy. Kanye just uh, presented the information wrong. And how come nobody confronts Kanye about that? Kanye needs to be told that, hey, you misinterpreted that whole situation. And I need you to apologize for that. I don't know why they don't confront Kanye like they need to. So Kanye kind of explains that they were talking about Swanky, and they were talking about how he was acting towards Lewis and that Lewis was the fall guy. And Kanye keeps, and she says, well, the reason you got all of that blowback was because he has not resolved his issues with Annie. He's going through a breakup, which was a great way to say it. Which was a great way to say it. He was going through a breakup, and he was going through a breakup, and even though him and Annie had a conversation and Annie apologized, Swanky does not believe that the apology is genuine. And so he's just kind of holding Annie out with a long handled spoon. He's not really trying to get engaged with her, but he's, because she basically treated him like she would treat somebody that she really didn't like. And he recognized that behavior and he didn't like it. I wanted to talk about one of the things is that at that table they did kind of talk about Fantana and Diamond and all this other stuff. And Lewis again tried to stick up for Fantana, and Zari said that's fine. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but basically that's fine. But Diamond said something for her to feel like she could tell me what she told me and all the different things that she told me. So he apparently has said something to her. And like I said, I feel like I'm not going to excuse that behavior because it was unnecessary. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this in the past reviews of this season, but a lot of people have mentioned this, is that Zari and Diamond, even though they're co-parenting, they are acting like they are a little bit more than co-parenting. When they get together, it does seem like they tune out the world just for each other. And I don't know what type of optics that is, but that's just what's happening. Now, before I move on, even though we're talking about this show, there was some tea spilled about what's going on, which may, um, I don't know if it affects the season or not, but it does let you know that some things just seem to be odd. Now, shout out to Kempire. I watched his live, and this is where this tea was spilled because apparently you remember the episode when they were out at the polo club, and you remember Zari and Nadia were going back and forth with each other, and not and Zari mentioned, well, I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend, and how is he supposed to feel? Da 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 da. At first, I thought she was just saying that just to save face, but apparently she did have a boyfriend because shout out to Miss Zari, the boss lady. She's married. She married this boyfriend. Um, I cannot remember what his name is. You all can look it up. It's a Google search. But she is currently married. So I'm wondering uh, when they greenlight this for a third season, is Zari going to show her boyfriend or not? Hmm. hmm. But anyway, my predictions, if there's a third season, is going to come after all of this. But I just thought I'd put this little tidbit of information in here because it was too juicy. I can't hold ice water. I couldn't hold it to the last little bit. So that leads us to we had Zari and Nadia, not Nadia, Zari and Fontana fussing at Nadia's um mic. She was doing a sound check. They were fussing at that event. And it led into the next season that they were fussing at that event. Like I said, the whole thing I got out of that was Fontana is not about that life. Fantana has feelings for Diamond, but she doesn't want to admit those feelings. Kanye tried to have an intervention with all of them, with Zari, with Diamond, and Fontana. And again, you can tell her 24, 25-year-old self came out because she's like, well, I'm just through it. I don't want to talk about it. Because see, you don't want to confront the issue. What did he tell you to make you say that? That's basically all it is. If he's sitting right there, Zari wants to know. I don't think that you two should be fighting. I think that Diamond said something to her to put a battery in her back, and Diamond is not willing and wanting to say that. He don't like to be in mess. He causes confusion, but he doesn't like to be in the mess. He likes to be the catalyst for the mess, but he doesn't like to be in the mess. And so they tried to have a dinner thing, and then again, sent Fantana gets into her feelings. I don't want to talk because it's like fighting with my aunties and all of this mess. But just to conclude, it doesn't appear that Fontana and Zari are going to have a situation where they will be kosher and cool. And Fontana is still digmatized by Diamond because at the end of the episode 9, she's on the plane kissing and hugging and doing all kinds of stuff with him. So she wants to be sexually involved with him. She wants a relationship with him, but she doesn't realize he is not the relationship type of guy. And again, she's the one that says that she don't catch feelings, she catches flights. She's catching that flight and she's catching feelings. So let's keep going. We're gonna talk. That's the end that I'm gonna talk about that whole situation. Uh Zari does confront Diamond in the end, and she basically tells him, I don't care who you with or what you're with and how you're with. We co-parent, but when you sit around and you stop pillow talking about me to your folks. All right. We are co-parents, and I want to keep this situation the way it is, but I'm just telling you, don't do that because that causes confusion within the group that I'm in. Excuse me. And Diamond, he's not going to take responsibility for anything. So he's just going to leave that up. All right. Trying to see y'all. I put on here a word, and it's something that somebody would say that it's like, oh, that is true. And one thing that Kanye said at that dinner that she had with Zari and Lewis, she said this: you can't talk about permanent people to temporary people. So I don't think Fantana is gonna make it in this group because Kanye called her temporary. So unless she's gonna be back next season, I don't think that I don't think nothing like that's gonna happen. Um in episode 8, I thought one of the things that was interesting, Swanky, so the guys meet up. Tubaba, Swanky, Lewis, Diamond, and Quentin. They all meet up and they're playing football, aka soccer if you're in America. They're playing soccer and you know, Swanky is not playing because he's not one of those sports guys, but he kind of confronts Tubaba about that he didn't intervene when Annie and his relationship was deteriorating. And Tubaba got upset about that. And he basically, he got upset about that. He says, "Don't confront me about that mess." Cuz basically Tubaba was like, "Listen, that's your friend. She is your friend and then she is my wife. You and her have the problem. I don't have the problem, but you best believe and know that I back my wife. Whenever anybody has a problem with my wife, I'm always going to be behind my wife." Which is what he should have said. I'm not arguing with that, but I just thought Swanky had a damn nerve. Swanky really had a damn nerve to think that man was going to intervene in a situation that happened between Swanky and Annie. But I thought I'd mention that. Oh, child. Let's get to the last episode. Last episode. I was going to do because I was in the middle of watching it. And where are we? Oh, Lord. So we have so the last episode, it opens up with, like I said, it continues with Fantana continue having this meltdown with Zari. We went over that, and then then in this episode, it talks to Diamond, Lewis, and Quentin talking about the situation. Now, one thing that I do enjoy about Indile, and that I do enjoy about Quentin too, because they're very straightforward people. They're gonna tell you the stuff. Like Quentin basically told Diamond, whatever it is that's going on, you said something to Fontana that made her believe that she can confront Zari the way she confronted. Diamond's trying to go, "Oh, I don't understand. No, I didn't do that." And he's like, "Nah, man, you said something." And Lewis even said, "Zari is not crazy, and Fontana is not crazy. So there's has to be something for these two women to be at odds." And they confront they confront Diamond about it. And again, Diamond is him hawing and him hawing. He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. He didn't say anything. Yada, 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 yada. And again, I told you earlier about all of them being confronted with Kanye and Swanky being the mediators. You see Annie and Tubaba, they sit down and they're talking, and they're just kind of boring to me because, like I said, I don't believe that their relationship is as strong as they are making it out to be. There needs to be some kind of consensus. Either Annie, Tubaba, if you gonna cheat. Make these people sign NDAs so they cannot say what they say when they say it, so that you can cheat in peace and Annie doesn't have to be embarrassed. Y'all need to come up with something better than this. And Annie, don't make it seem like what's going on is not going on. You have lived in this quasi reality for a very long time, and we are just completely and utterly sick of it. We are completely and utterly sick of it. You're trying to make this relationship seem uh, more than what it is. Do I think that you two are in love? Yes, I do. I just think that there's this fantasy world that you're living in that, oh, everybody is doing this to Tubaba when Tubaba is clearly in his right mind and clearly doing what he is doing. And that's just point blank and simple. Now, The last little bit that I want to go over and talk about, baby, is Andile being the mediator between Annie and Swanky. And again, Ndili has all of his issues that are going on, and he has his things like that. But one of the things that I do enjoy about Ndile is that he shows a level of emotional intelligence in a man that is just commendable, endearing, and just wonderful to see that he has the ability and he has the skills, uh that he could even sit down with two people who are powerhouse uh personalities between and Annie and Swanky, and get down with them and talk about them, because honey, he sat them down and he made them go through those issues and feelings, and when he saw that they were going out of line, he checked them. Like, how you gonna get on here on TV talking about certain things like this? This is not for that. You two need to have a conversation about what is going on. Apologize or don't apologize. And it was gut wrenching. You can see it. Uh Annie, he broke Annie down because Annie had to realize at this particular point, Annie realized that Swanky heard the things that she said to him, and she couldn't weasel out of them. She couldn't weasel out of it. And also she understands and she knows, out of all the folks that you are upset with and you gonna have a mouth and say something about, Swanky ain't that person you need to be talking to, sis. Swanky is not that person that you need to sit here and have all of this hatred for. Swanky ain't that person. Swanky is not that person. Oh, y'all don't even know where I'm at. Look at me. Where am I? Swanky's not that person. So either you apologize and make it okay with Swanky, or you leave Swanky alone. But you don't get to pull out all of Swanky's old mess, and Swanky doesn't get to pull out all of your old mess. And Dilly put that out there. That's not supposed to be out here. You all are not supposed to be talking about all the stuff that you all have said to each other and said about each other and all this other stuff. And I commend Andili for that. I commend Andili for that, because he made sure, because Annie was in her antics, Annie was in her shit. Oh, she wasn't going to talk about that. And you know how she just, overacting and acting childish with her all of her ways like that, and flipping through her glasses and doing all kinds of stuff, talking about side issues that doesn't have to do with the point. And Dilly got them all the way together. He got them all the way around. He got them to the point where they had to go through that stuff, and they were fussing and cussing. And Dilly's like, no, we're not gonna have that, because I will leave here now. My reputation means more to me than that. Y'all are not gonna get out here, and that shocked them into a level of reality. Like, oh, wait a minute. It's one thing for us to be upset with each other, but it's another thing for us to debase ourselves into this who we are not. We need to talk about this. And they decided to squash it, and they decided to get back together and to do that, and to just let it go. Just apologize for it, and now just let it go. Now, does it affect their relationship? Of course it does, because there's a level of trust that has been broken, and they have to make the decision uh to either live in the air of forgiveness or no. But at this point, they have decided to live in the air of forgiveness. And at the end, at the finale of this whole situation, it's just basically this. Zari goes over to talk to Diamond and basically told Diamond, look, keep my name out your mouth. I don't care who you dating, but if you're going to be dating somebody that's within the group, because you remember the same kind of situation happened with Nadia. But Nadia had enough maturity not to let it debase to the level that it has debased with Fontana. But Zari told Diamond, I don't care who you with, but whoever you are with, and if you're going to date somebody in the group, please have the respect not to talk about me at any time in at any time. Do not mention my name. Do not say anything. And Diamond sounds like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, Diamond, stop. Because you told her some stuff. And whatever it is you told her, she won't tell all of it to me, but you told her something. Because she made a mention that, oh, I would be heartbroken and I would be this. She said, we're just going to co-parent. And I do not want you to sit up here ever again and put me in this type of situation. And they squashed it. However, child, Diamond don't care. So Diamond is back here with Fantana. And baby, that baby ain't gonna learn. She young. She love herself some Diamond. And Diamond done threw them lips and he done threw that. He done dickmatized her and threw all that stuff on her. So she is still going to be the same way. She still believes that Diamond is he is the victim here and I'm trying to help and save him and all this other stuff. But she just don't realize, baby, look at him kissing on the plane and all this other stuff. She just don't realize that Diamond is playing her for the fool. And once he gets what he wants from her, which is some more sex, he's gonna go on tour and everything is going to be the end of it. And that was basically the end of the show. It was the end of the season. What did you all think about this season? How did you all feel about this season? I thought the season was messier than last season. I will tell you that. I thought this season, I did like what the new people brought. They brought some mess. I am curious about the relationship between Annie and Swanky. Will that relationship recover or not? I am happy for Kaylee and Quentin. They are engaged. So maybe we'll see a wedding in the third season. I think Lewis is a good addition to the show. He brings a level of honesty and naivete, and it's a good level of that. He's still a business person, he's still doing that, but he's a young man that believes, that wants to be in love, he wants to have a family, he wants to be able to have this family that's beyond religious restraints and all this other stuff. So I think he is a good addition. Bonang, grand opening, grand closing. I do not understand why you would come on a show like this and would not follow through with the show. That doesn't make any types of sense to me. I don't know why that doesn't make any types of sense to me. You come on this show, then get an attitude because people are not catering to you the way you want them to cater to you to, and then you leave. I don't think that was a good fit for her. I do hope that they bring somebody else. I do like them bringing somebody that because from what I understand from watching Twitter and Instagram, she seems to be somebody. Bonang seemed to have been somebody that doing this show wasn't really beneficial to her brand. It wasn't anything that she would have done to be beneficial to her brand. Maybe she thought that it was going to give her some international cred, but she just wasn't ready for reality, and that's fine. Um, I just hate, but I'm just one of those people. If you start it, finish it. Go ahead and go through with it. You could have um, um, set a new course, but again, you were trying to. That thing with Lewis didn't make any sense. It made no sense to be that strong about something, and he's apologizing to you. Like I said, that didn't make any sense. She didn't make any sense on that. So, like I said, it's just a matter. She could have course corrected, but she chose not to. She chose to just leave the group, and that's fine. Kanye, now some tea that we got, outside, that apparently her and the guy that she was dating in the first season, they are no longer dating. So I don't know how that will affect her in the third season or not. Will she be talking about that? Will we see Kanye footloose and fancy free? Unsure, unsure. I did like, with Bonang leaving, Nadia's storyline was pretty much dead in the water. Because again, let's get some tea, because the boyfriend that Nadia and Bonang had in common was killed. And so we didn't get to see. I'm quite sure that there was plenty of storyline in regards to that. But when Bonang decided to leave the show, I think they cut a lot of Nadia's filming. I think they cut a lot of stuff with Nadia. And for me, and here's the thing, and I will say this. I don't know who edits. I do not understand or know why they just wouldn't put that in until they couldn't. Because I just don't see that they have not filmed a whole lot of stuff. Because again, this is the second season where Nadia has acted like a friend of the show. Her information, her storyline always was like dead in the water after the third show episode, excuse me. After the third episode. Her stuff was like dead in the water after the third episode. So I'm not sure. I think this is at the third season. I think Young, Famous, and African is going to have to figure out who they're going to get to take this show to a different level, because Annie and Tubaba are going to be Annie and Tubaba, right? And we're just going to get that same type of mess between them. Nadia, and so let me just, I guess what I'll do on this particular half is like who I'd want to see to come back, who I wouldn't care if they did not come back or not. So we have Andili and his two uh baby mom. They brought a good they brought I liked that whole situation, just that tension and stuff between them. I think that they brought some good stuff. I would love to see how Rosette and Seba. I'd like to see how they interact or who they interact with outside of Andile, because they were interesting. I do like them as friends of the show because their stuff was interesting. I'd love to see who Rosette is working with. I'd love to see who Seba is working with. I also would like to see Andili move forward to somebody else. So I would like to see those three next season. I would I like the tension between Fantana and Zari. And I do like the fact that Zari has gotten married. So I would love to see how Zari and Diamond's relationship will will be now that Zari is married. So I want to see Zari, her husband, and I want to see Diamond. I do want to see Fontana back. I do want to see Fontana back. She brought a little drama. Now, she brought a lot of American sensibilities to the situation. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I would like her to be reduced down to a friend of the show. Yeah, because she brings to I want more continent sensibilities and how they think. So I do want Lewis back. I do want Kaylee and Naked DJ, aka Quentin, back. I do want to see if they get married. It would be great to have for them to have a wedding. I'd like to meet some people in from Kaylee's family. I would love to see that interactions and how they interact with Naked with Quentin, because remember I told you there is a significant age difference. So I'd love to see how they interact with now that they're engaged. Kaylee's going to have to interact with Naked DJ's children. And how does that work out? How are they going to work out as a blended family? Great storyline there. Swanky and Swanky should come back. I would like for Swanky to have another sidekick besides Annie, because his relationship with Annie is yeah. I really would love for him to have a different sidekick there. Again, I said I liked Lewis because of he's refreshing to the show. He's not out here trying to be the extreme player or anything like that, but he's also not a prude. I do like that. Annie and Tubaba, honestly, I don't know if there's anything more that we can explore with them besides a whole nother scandal. I really do think that they have run their course on the show. I really would love another married couple, a high powered other married couple that could come in and shake some things up. I really would. And I'm trying to make sure that I got there. Nadia, I'd give Nadia one more season, but if Nadia does not have a storyline that's tied to somebody else that is consistent, I think that if she doesn't have anything to bring to the next season, Nadia can just they can bring somebody else in. They definitely can bring somebody else in uh to kind of take Nadia's place. All right. What did y'all think? I enjoy this Young, Famous, and African was the reality show that I did not know I needed. It just is. It just brought a lot of stuff. I do enjoy seeing people from the continent showing how they live and all this different stuff and it's different countries too. Man, if we could get some folks from Cameroon on here, if we can get some folks from Kenya on here, if we can get some folks from Ethiopia, Eritrea, if we can get some folks from uh Northern Africa here, if we can get some folks from the Congo, if we can get some folks from Ghana, nice, nice. Even if we got a spin-off show from people from like Nigeria, if or in that area, if there's a spin-off show that we can do get from there, that would be great. Because like I said, I like this show and I like this show for Netflix. It works for Netflix. The only thing that I would ask is don't drop all the episodes at once. This is one of those shows that the episodes need to be dropped weekly. It is. It's just this show that needs to be dropped weekly. Dropped weekly. All right, people. Whew. So if I look at the time, probably about 15, 20 minutes per show, and then my little ad libs and stuff at the end. All right, people. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching this video on Young, Famous, and African. I hope I shared some of the little tidbit of uh tea that we had on some of the participants of this series. I'm trying to think. Is there any more information that I want to divulge? There is not. Again, please comment below. What did you think about this whole season two series? Tell me what you thought. Drop it down in the comments. What did you think about Naked DJ and Callie? What did you think about Bonang? What did you think about uh Nadia? What did you think about Lewis? What did you think about Fantana? What did you think about the tension between Fantana, Zari, and Diamond? What did you think about the tension between Annie and Swanky? What did you think about Kanye? Because remember, I told you Nadia and Kanye switch roles. They switch roles. Nadia, Nadia wasn't as featured in the series last season, and this season Kanye wasn't featured in the season as far as their stuff that's going on. They were instigators, but they weren't really featured or talking about their stuff that was going on. Tell me what you thought about that. Tell me what you think about the show. Tell me what you think about me reviewing this show, recapping this show. Put it all down there in the box. Again, please share this video. You see it scrolling down the screen. I am on a way to 1,000 subscribers. Please help me get 1,000 subscribers. I would appreciate that. Please share this video. Once you share it with your family, share it with your friends, and even share it with the helper you can't stand. Please let them know that I am over here making these videos, people. Please let them know. And also, please encourage them to subscribe. And once you all subscribe, you will be open to a plethora of playlists of all the movies and videos and pop culture chats that I have on this channel. All right. We do this every week. And I know I've said this several times, but my Unprisoned, the last episodes of Unprisoned, I will be reviewing them and putting a video up. Also, I am looking forward to the end of this month when the spinoff show for Sex and the City is coming back. I will be reviewing that as well. So stay tuned for those things. And as always, people, bye bye.